Coach, other than the first quarter, and it's time we started out initially pretty good the first couple of minutes, but other than that first quarter, you went straight up the rest of the game. You gotta be happy about that.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the fight for my team. I felt that we never gave up. There was a point when, we were getting momentum, and then Kelsey Plum takes over, and that's just how good she is. And there was a point where we had some momentum, then Chantel goes to the low block, comes back in the game and dominates. But that's how good this team is. I just love the fact we didn't give up. We fought the entire time. We fought for 40 minutes. We made some mistakes, and you saw some threes given up. We had to pick our poison. So sometimes we knew some threes were gonna get. We were vulnerable from the three at some spots. I thought we did a good job of guarding Kelsey from the three. Luckily, she missed some threes, but I loved our fight, and that's all I can ask for.
Nadia, what was this night like for you now that it's over?
It was weird. It was strange because I have such a good relationship with all the players. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of watching, Hannah go 5 for 5 in the game. I was like, oh, but she worked so hard, so it was great to see her accomplish that. And then, watching Deja, Hannah, Chantel, Ari, just kids that I recruited, I've had a relationship with so long. It's good to see their success. I wish they wouldn't have. I wish Kelsey wouldn't have had so much success against us. But she's a great player. She's a tough matchup. We threw different looks at her, and she did her thing. That's why she just scored over 3,000 points. Why she's one of the best players in the country, and she's going to be a great pro.
Even though she scored 34 points against you,
36.
36. Was it special to be here on a night that she did score 3,000?
I mean, I didn't want that to happen against us. It's special. I love her, but I'd rather it happen at ASU. It is special. I had the choice to let them announce it. I said, of course. That's the first test thing you do, and it's great for women's basketball. It's great for San Diego. She's from my hometown. It's a kid I recruited. It's a kid that has really developed and gotten better every year. It's a kid that was underrated coming out of high school, and then is in college is just dominating. She's great for the Pac-12. She's great for Washington. She's great for women's basketball. So, I was happy to see her accomplish that for sure, and I knew she was going to. I think there's going to be a lot more records she's going to break this year.
You took the 3 away from her, and then she goes to the hoop.
Yeah.
That's what she does, right?
Yeah, so we tried to guard her from the 3. I was happy about that. But then she creates and commands so much attention. So she drives in, draws people, kicks out, and they have shooters. So it's kind of like you got to pick your poison a little bit. And Ari is a freshman. I think Ari's going to be great because she's going against Kelsey Plum every day. And she's seeing the work ethic that Kelsey Plum puts in every single day, so she's going to be great. And Chantel, she's the X factor. She is the motor, and she's also one of their catalysts. When she was out of the game, we had chances to go inside, and that was a big factor. But they're so good, they're able to sustain. And I thought Hannah and some other people did some great jobs off the bench. They did a great job.
Coach Neighbors described it as one of the more emotional handshake lines he's ever been to.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the feeling for you as well?
Yeah, because I love the guy. He's a great coach, a great friend, mentor, everything. So it's weird being on the other side when I was so used to them and watching them and just them, joking before the game. Still a competitor. When the game starts, you want to beat them. That's just how we are. But afterwards, we're professionals, and that's how it is.
What type of advantage did knowing players on the other team give you?
Well, it's a tremendous advantage, but the thing is that you still got to guard it and defend it. So knowing every play, I knew every play call, everything. But then you can't give your team all the plays. And so knowing it, it's advantage, but, guarding it when they have great players is hard. So just like we all know everybody's plays. In the Pac-12, we all scout, we're all prepared for our teams. We know the tendencies of what people are going to run.
Oh,
But stopping it's hard.
Washington had 2 technical fouls called on them. What did you think about that? And now that the game's over, do you think either one was warranted?
I don't really remember. It was the heat of the moment. I think that anytime you chip off, or chip you with the refs, it happens. Was the call? Who knows? There was some, it's just basketball. I think emotions fly. I don't really know the specifics, and I don't know what was said, but I know that I know Chantel really well. She's emotional, but she would never say anything to get thrown out, or she wouldn't say anything that bad.
She frustrates people by her size and her mobility.
Yeah, her mobility. I think that what really separates her is her basketball IQ. The fact that she finds the open person. She's so smart. She's patient and poised on the block, and that's hard. And you can't teach that. She has so many instincts that are unteachable, and she just does her thing. She trails in. She makes the pass. She has great backdoor passes. I don't know how she gets those through, but that's what she does. She's the best passing post in America. I think hands down, no one is close to her. And, you know, for her to shoot 40%, tonight she was 0 for 4 from the 3, but coming into this game shooting 40% in the Pac-12 from the 3-point line, I don't know any other 5 in America that does that. So those two players are dominant players. There are differences in the game, and it's hard because they do so many things so well. You take away Kelsey's 3, she drives. She pushes it in transition. You know, you sag off her, she shoots the 3. You go up on her, she pulls up. So she's got a complete game. Chantel, you press her, she can drive, and she's smart. She's got up and under. She had the little Euro step. That's all stuff she's developed. She wasn't as efficient as those things her freshman year, so she's put the work in to get better.
Obviously, there were a lot of things that you could prepare for and expect against this team. Was there anything in particular that you weren't expecting that you had to overcome?
Nothing at all. No, nothing. I was hoping that they didn't go the shot doctor this week, and against our zone they'd be 2 for 30. I was hoping that, but I knew that probably wouldn't happen. You know, and you know their lineup changed. Heather Corral out, who's a really great 3-point shooter, which was really going to be really hard in the zone. But then Ari comes in. Ari's really good in transition. So it was pick your poison. It was great that Ari didn't start because she's another ball handler. But then it was hard with Heather in the game because she's a shooter. So, you know, we couldn't trap as much with Ari in the game because she's too quick. You know, so it's just hard. They have so many weapons. And you know they don't even go that deep, but their 6 or 7 are really, really strong and hard. And even when they go into the deeper bench, they're still pretty good.
You talked earlier in the week about building that Husky type culture where girls of Kelsey's caliber are there. When practice is over, they're still in the gym putting up shots. Can you put a timeline on that? How long does it take to build that?
I don't know, but you guys keep your eye out because if you see some Kelsey Plums, call me. It won't be a violation. Don't worry. Players like Chantel and Kelsey, they come once every 10 years. They don't come once every 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They are diamonds in the rough. Both of them were kids that, Chantel especially, really underrated. People are not sure if she can maintain the pace in college. She's doing great and just fine. I think she's going to also be a pro. And she's so smart. She has the highest basketball IQ on that team. So to have such a smart player, and that's something you can't teach. That's something you have to find and really, really special. And, you know, I think if I would have been here a couple of years ago, she's from down the street, I would have recruited her like crazy. She would have been my #1 recruit since she was in probably 5th grade. But, you know, people didn't know how good she'd be in college, and she's dominating. She's leading the Pac-12 in rebounds, so that's just a dominating player. Kelsey Plum was not ranked #1 or 2 coming out of high school. She was like a top 20, top 30 kid, but she works every day. And we talk about the culture and work ethic. That's what separates her. I've been around a lot of great players, and they don't have the work ethic she does. She's in the gym every day, around practice, before practice, 6 in the morning before you travel, 10 at night after a game, after you get in from a road trip. That's rare. There aren't a lot of Kelsey Plums out there. And so that's what you want, and that changes the culture, and that changed the culture of Washington.
She said 3,000 points is nice, but she'd much rather beat Arizona State. I guess they have never beaten them before, so you know, from being up there, you know what that would mean for them, right?
This year, I mean, Washington is very strong. I think so. You know, we've played some good Pac-12 teams, but they're the best that we've played so far. We haven't played UCLA, USC, but Washington's really complete. They're coached well. They've got 2 players that really change the game that can take over a game. But I think it shows the humility of Kelsey. She's not worried about that. She's not caught up in the numbers. She's worried about what's next, winning the next game, and those things are special. And a lot of players aren't like that.
What do you think about your team's progress this far into the season?
I think we've progressed tremendously. I think that we play hard. I think we play with heart. We may not be the tallest. We may not be the 3-point knockdown team. We may not be, you know, the biggest on the perimeter, but we play with heart. We're playing with fight, and that's all I can ask for. I mean, there's going to be nights we're going to play some better teams, and that's okay. But if we play this hard throughout the season, I think we're going to surprise some people. Maybe tonight it wasn't the #8 team in the country, but we gave them a fight, and we kept fighting. Even when we were down 20, it could have been down 40. We kept fighting because they're capable of beating teams by 40 points. So I'm proud of our fight. You know, could we have done a couple things earlier? Yeah, but that's why this team's so good, because when you shut one thing down, something else happens. Someone else steps up, and that's what makes a good team. But we're going to continue to get better. We've gotten better since the beginning of the Pac-12, and I think that what we've done really well and we've played star players in the Pac-12, whether it's Inigwe, Potter. I think we've done a really good job of honing in and getting people in foul trouble and really fighting to make people work or taking out one of the stars. I think we've done a good job of that, and we've done that throughout our games when we've faced stars. So, Washington State's another test. We're not going to hang our heads about this one. In basketball and through seasons, you can't get too high or get too low. So we're on to the next one. We're going to learn, watch film tonight, learn from some mistakes, and then we're focused on Washington State. And we're at home, so you don't want to you want to try to sweep at home or at least get splits and then go on the road because we have a couple tough weeks ahead of us. So we're on to the next game. I'm not going to worry too much about tonight's game.
You threw a lot of different defensive looks at Kelsey tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Did you save anything in the bag for when you go up there next time?
We'll probably add some more stuff. I mean, there's only so many defenses. It's like, no, we had to do different things, and it didn't really, I mean, it worked kind of. But she had 36 points, and to be 12 for 19, that's a great stat line. We forced her into 4 turnovers, but then she had 4 steals and 5 assists. So, I mean, you have to change things up, and that's the hard thing. If she didn't have so many shooters next to her, it's a little easier because then we can make her work and it would be harder, but it's hard when we're pressing her or we're in a zone kind of shading to her side and then she kicks it out and there's a shooter. So it's just she's tough. She commands so much attention. We're going to throw different things at her, but that's just what you have to do. I think a lot of teams will do that. We'll probably add some new things to throw at her for next game, but I mean, you can only play so many defenses because you want your team to have some consistency and some confidence. So if you're doing 8 defenses, it's hard to be great at one. So there's a couple defenses we're really good at, and so the team is confident in. So you don't want to change too much.
Washington State's not going to be obviously as physical as Washington. How are you going to approach this game as far as strategy?
We're just going to do what we do. Washington State is known to play a really effective matchup zone. So we have to be patient and we have to really look to run. I think our advantage in the Pac-12 and against these teams is we have to be a great transition team. We're not nearly as effective when we have to play slower and score in the quarter court. We're better when we're running, getting easy buckets, going straight into the post, doing stuff off of them. We're not as good slower, and because a lot of times people are sagging or they're bringing a lot of people around LB, so we have to go hit shots. So I think a strategy would be to definitely run so they can't get set in that matchup and then just do what we do. I think we have some advantages in some spots, but we just got to play our game. But I think if we play as hard as we did against Utah and Washington, I feel like some really good things are going to happen this year.
Anything else?
No?
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good night.